NBA 2K's builder system has been one of, if not the most important topic when it comes to every new 2K dropping for the past 5 to 6 years. With players complaining about pie charts being in the game to now years later wishing they would come back, we have been going up and down with our constant opinions on what the builder system should be. But in today's video, what I will be doing is breaking down the builder systems from since NBA 2K16 all the way up to NBA 2K25, showing the flaws, showing the pros, and also showing what can be better for NBA 2K26, as well as showing you guys the secret NBA 2K19 My Player builder that was in NBA 2K25 the whole entire time. So if you guys are ready for this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and let's go. What it do, YouTube, man? It's your boy KC, aka JustKhalem, and I want to say welcome back to the channel. Let's not waste no time. Let's go. As you guys know, the My Player builder, which is only strictly allowed in NBA 2K's My Career mode, is one of the most important things every single 2K. NBA 2K's My Player builder has a lot of pros and cons, with YouTubers making a name off of making some of the best builds, from NBA replica builds to slasher builds to sharpshooter builds. The NBA 2K My Player builder allows you to fully customize your player to the way you want to play the most. Or is that true? First thing we're going to focus on is the NBA 2K16 My Player builder. Let's take a look. For the NBA 2K16 My Player builder, it was really simple with how you were able to customize your build. From you only being able to switch your position, your scoring style, your height, weight, number, high school, hands, dominant dunk hand, wingspan, body length, shoulder length, and your My Career story subtitles. With it being this basic, we never really used to complain, because when 2K gave us a little bit, it came up to our creativity to how we were going to fully customize our build in the upcoming 2Ks. After you selected the vitals and the settings that you wanted for your player, on the next screen after, you would see your max potential in the categories that you prioritized in your My Player settings beforehand. That was simply it. There was no more, there was no less. It was really simple. Choose your position, choose your scoring style, choose your height and wingspan, see what your max potential is, then go and hoop. Animations and all of that obviously will determine on your height, your weight, and your play style. But other than that, it was that simple. So why were we not complaining in 2K16? Well, let's take a look at 2K17's. NBA 2K17 My Player builder, it was way more advanced. As you guys can see, you would see a live visual depending on your position, which you will also be compared to the heights of real NBA point guards in the league, for point guards such as Kyrie Irving being 6'3", with his build being called an offensive superstar, with Russell Westbrook being 6'3", but his being an all-around superstar, as you can clearly see. And depending on the position that you chose, those player comparisons to real NBA players would 100% change. Shooting guard, you would get Clay, you would get Jimmy, and so on and so on. So with all of these player comparisons in the 2K17 My Player builder, after you decided what position you want, you were able to now, once again, choose your play style. But the only difference is instead of making the build in 2K16, confirming it, then getting to only see what your max potential was, you were able to select your position, and after selecting your position, depending on your play style, you were able to see what the maxes and the caps would be for that specific playstyle. So instead of having to go back and forth, you were able to see what point guards you would be compared to, see what playstyles would have certain caps, and also you would also be able to see the badges that will come with those caps, playstyle, height, and positioning. So everything, instead of it being 4 to 5 different screens in 2K16, it was just 2 screens. Pick your position and look at what you'll be compared to, and in the next screen, you were able to see what your caps will be depending on your play style or your scoring style, as well as badges you can earn for that play style. After you did that for your archetype, the next screen was your height. As you saw before, depending on your height, it will affect your ball control, your speed, your vertical, your acceleration, all of that. After you chose your height, you go on to your wingspan. Everything in 2K17's My Player Builder was based off of one word called comparison. You have always been able to see your NBA comparison, how it would affect your shooting, your dribbling, your defense, and so on. So that jump from NBA 2K16 to NBA 2K17, the My Player Builder took a very big jump, and if I were to give it a green or a red, it was a very big positive from NBA 2K16 to NBA 2K17 My Player Builder. Let's move on to 2K18's. For the 2K18 My Player Builder, it started off exactly the same as it did in NBA 2K17, with you being able to see your NBA player comparisons depending on your height. The only difference is that on the next screen, after you chose what position you were, what height you were able to choose your archetype, with there being a primary and a secondary skill. With you being able to choose your primary and secondary skill, you were able to see what your max caps were for the primary skill and secondary skill that you chose. And the way it was indicated was that white arrow bar. The white arrow bar was your max, the highest it was able to go to. Those yellow open bars were the upgrades that have yet to be achieved. Those yellow full bars are your base stats that you were starting off with. On the right hand side, it showed the badge totals. It would show how many Hall of Fame, silver, bronze, and gold badges you were able to have on the build. For this one in particular, we'll just focus on this one. It was a passing and ball handling and defending. And with that being the primary and secondary skill, he was able to not really have any Hall of Fame badges, but as he continued to flick through and flick through and flick through, mess with the height, mess with the wingspan and so on, obviously the caps, the badges, and all of that will change. So this was pretty straightforward, pretty self-explanatory when it came to the NBA 2K18 My Player Builder. It was primarily, it was exactly the same as 2K17, which was exactly the same as 2K16. The only difference was the visuals and a better explanation, a more of an understanding of if you tweak this, this will change, was upgraded every single 2K from 16, 17, and 18. So what would my grade be for 2K18 My Player Builder? It would be the exact same as it was for NBA 2K17. It would be like an A, all right? But here's where things change a little tiny bit for NBA 2K19. Let's take a look. NBA 2K19's My Player Builder was one of my personal favorites. It was the exact same from NBA 2K18, the exact same from NBA 2K17, but as 2K continuously does, and the one area I want to continuously give them their flowers is the visuals. Instead of it being a black and white My Player Builder comparison, you were able to see them live in the flesh and in the color. It was the exact same when it came to archetypes, being what is your primary skill and what is your secondary skill, as well as also seeing the badge info and totals at the bottom of your secondary skill, as well as also seeing what the caps are depending on your position, primary skill, and secondary skill. Another thing that was added as we watched this video right here was the attribute caps. Instead of having to estimate where your attribute caps were, you were able to actually see the hard cap total on what your attributes would cap off at depending on position, height, weight, primary skill, and secondary skill. So this was really cool for this one, which was a primary passing and ball handling, secondary being a 3-point. You were not going to have a very high finishing with a 62 contact, 67 driving. But if you look at your open 3-point shot, 79, moving 3-point shot, 77. If I were to give this builder a one-word description, it would be balanced. Not everyone was able to do something. You were able to be very good on the skill that you primarily and secondarily focused on. Anything that you did outside of your primary and secondary skill was purely off of how much you play the game, how much of an understanding you have of your build, how comfortable you were with your build, and how advanced you were competitively playing the game compared to someone that casually played the game. With the My Player Builder being so balanced, it required you to actually sit down, take your time, and make the perfect build that matched your play style, while as well being able to dip your toes in other areas such as if your build is primarily focused on finishing, but people are consistently leaving you open and clogging the paint, you added a little jump shot to your thing, even though you had like a 65 3 ball, which made you a double-headed, or what people like to call a double-sworded threat. So with the My Player Builder in NBA 2K19 having the word I like to call balanced, this was one of my favorite My Player Builders ever. But let's move on to the My Player Builder that potentially switched the game forever. NBA 2K20. NBA 2K20's My Player Builder, as you guys can see here, was a completely new look from NBA 2K17, 18, and 19, having the exact same My Player Builder for 3 years straight. For this one, it was first name, last name, position, your hand that you want to shoot with, and lastly, your jersey number. After choosing whatever you wanted to play as in NBA 2K20, you moved on to a brand new screen that changed the game forever. Pie charts. There were so many different pie charts to choose from, but as you guys can see, to basically quickly explain it and summarize it for those that never played NBA 2K20, blue was for finishing, green was for shooting, yellow was for playmaking, red was for defense. Now, if you look over here with the pie charts, depending on what color you chose to primarily focus on will determine where you have the highest amount of stats. For example, if you guys look at the first pie chart, it was primarily blue, with the second largest color being orange, with a mixture of green and red being pretty much even, which means that your finishing stats on your first pie chart would be anywhere from 90 and higher, while all your other ones would range from 80 and lower. For the second one, as you guys can see that is highlighted right now, this was an even mix between green and blue, while yellow being your third highest and red being your smallest pie chart. So with this, as you guys can see, the highlighted stats are the highest that stat can go with this pie chart being selected. So with this being half green and half blue, your free throw would go up to an 88, which is your highest in that category, with your second highest being an 89 post fade. In the finishing department, your close shot would be a 90, which is the highest stat, with your second highest being a driving layup, which is an 87. Now, as you guys can see from the starting right here, this is what your stats will start off at before you will use VC and upgrade your stats to your liking. So with this pie chart system being added in NBA 2K20, this was another way to balance out builds. Not everyone was able to be overpowered in all 4 departments. It was either you were really good in at least 2 to 3, with 1 being very much lacked, or if you were really good, you were just going to be focusing on 2. Now, the craziest thing though was with these same pie charts, some people were still able to do everything. For example, there was a build called two-way finisher that you would choose the half red and half blue, but you would have like a 57 3-ball. There were people who were still able to shoot consistently after hitting a certain rep system, or their point guard having Hall of Fame dimer or gold dimer and floor general and all these badges, which allowed those people to expand their range of gameplay, even though they were not primarily focused on shooting with that one build. So when it comes to the NBA 2K20 My Player Builder system, this is, if not my first, my second favorite My Player Builder system of all time. This was the most balanced in my opinion besides 19, but hey, argue with your mother if you disagree. Let's move on to the My Player Builder that once again changed the game for NBA 2K21. Let's check it out. Now, I'm not gonna waste no time when it comes down to the NBA 2K21 current gen builder. It was an exact replica of the NBA 2K20's My Player Builder for current gen, with just a little bit of tweaks depending on the pie chart you chose. People used to complain about how overpowered the NBA 2K20 My Player pie chart builder system was, so what they did was, instead of getting a 95 3-ball, you would get like a 93 if you chose the half playmaking and the half green. Cool. So the My Player Builder for current gen was exactly the same as it was in 20, as it was in 2K21 current gen. Let's go to the My Player Builder, that system that changed the game yet again. NBA 2K21 Next Gen. NBA 2K21 Next Gen started off the same as 20 and 21 current gen, with it being first name, last name, position, hand, and jersey number. But as soon as you click continue, the screen changed. Your height, weight, wingspan, and body shape was now added to the My Player Builder. Now, As you guys can see, depending on what your height, weight, and wingspan was, it will determine what stats get turned into what. Now, as you guys can see, there is no longer a pie chart system, so we only got pie charts for 2 years. Now, after you choose the customization that you like the best for your build, depending on what you upgraded, the badges would all start off at blank, silver, or whatever you want to call it. But as you were to upgrade a specific stat, you would see that you would have a certain amount of points. You had a total of 95 points added, and as you upgrade stuff, your overall points would go up. But if you look at the bottom, it would show whatever you're upgrading, how much badges you would get in the specific category that you were upgrading. So as you can see, badge plug right here is upgrading his driving layup and to the max caps that it can go, and it showed that he would have 13 finishing badges if he just did close shot, driving dunk, driving layup. You went over to shooting, it happened with the same thing. It would show that you'll get these badges on Hall of Fame silver or whatever. But this was a brand new My Player Builder system added into NBA 2K21 Next Gen. For this was the first time the PS5 came out. It was a brand new system, brand new game. Now, this is where things took a turn for the worst. I'm not gonna waste no time and slow down like how we've been doing. Now that we reached the NBA 2K21, I can pretty much fly through all these My Player Builder system. NBA 2K22, same player builder system. NBA 2K23, same player builder system. NBA 2K24, same player builder system with just a new look. And NBA 2K25, same player builder system. So from NBA 2K21 Next Gen all the way up to NBA 2K25 Next Gen, the question is, when will we be receiving a new My Player Builder system? In NBA 2K26, we are hoping for a brand new My Player Builder system, with NBA 2K25 builder system making everyone being able to do everything, especially since it started in NBA 2K23. As you guys know, with the 6'9" big men being able to dribble like point guards, have defense like locks, but also being able to shoot like sharpshooters, NBA 2K25 just took it to a brand new level, with 7-footers being able to dribble like they are Cizo in his prime. But with all of that being said, what should we expect for NBA 2K26 My Player Builder system? In the comment sections right now, if you made it this far to the video, I want you guys to type, out of all the 2Ks that I just showed you, out of all the My Player Builders, which My Player Builder system would you guys say was the most compatible, was the most fair, or was the most balanced out of all the My Player Builder system that we have had before? If I were to say to choose a My Player Builder system, it would be either 2K19 or 20, my bad. 2K19 or 2K20 would be the two My Player Builder system I would say to focus on if you want to make a balanced, fair, and a pretty decent NBA 2K26 builder system. NBA 2K25 added a My Player Builder system that is called Pro Tune Builds, that is an exact same replica of how it was in NBA 2K19 with double archetypes. Take a look at this. In this Pro Tuned build system, after you choose your name, jersey number, and hand that you want to shoot with, you get to choose your position, your best skill, and your archetype. On the bottom of that, it gives you a description of the build that you are currently creating, where it also gives you the height, the weight, and the wingspan already created for you, and it also inspires or is based off of an actual NBA player that either is currently in the league or was prior in the league. So as you guys see right here, this is just like NBA 2K19, NBA 2K18 with the double archetype system. It shows you the badges, it shows you your top attributes and what they would currently be rated at, as a A+, a A-, a B+, a B-, a C, a D, an F. It doesn't matter. I would not be mad if 2K were to find a way to tweak this and turn this into its own My Player Builder system. But hey, this is something that 100% reminded me of NBA 2K19 and 18's double archetype builder system. Y'all tell me how y'all feel in the comments. That is my personal opinion, but all I'm saying is that we have had the same My Player Builder for 4 years straight. It is time to officially put it in the past, put it in the dust, bury it. Let's move on and let's have a brand new My Player Builder for NBA 2K26. And if you don't want to do that, you guys went 4 years straight with this one. Put back NBA 2K20s or 21 current gen. Y'all only did it for 2. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hey, let's pray for NBA 2K26. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.